with problems. Right now, I think I can say I did a very good tournament. Anyway, the result of tomorrow, of course, change a lot. The result of the match of tomorrow, but I am very satisfied how I improved during all the tournament. It was a hard work because I didn't arrive to this tournament playing my best, and that's a very important thing.
With having to come back tomorrow, how important was it to get it over in 3 sets?
Sure, always is important. If it's if you have a match like I had in the semifinals of Australia a few years ago in 2009, I lost. I'm gonna lose for sure, no? But having a 3 sets match and 2 hours of a little bit more of the match, so is great. No? I'm gonna be in perfect conditions tomorrow, so that's very positive. We will see what happens.
Rafa, we don't know who's going to get through yet. Roger took the first set, but should he get through, there are people saying that this may just be the most important final in the Open era, if not in tennis history, and I wonder what your thoughts were on that.
I don't think it's that important. It's for sure a very important match, but it's only one more match. So I think we played during both of our careers very important matches against each other. So for sure this one gonna be something new because it's a different tournament. But for me, it's not more important the match of tomorrow than the final of Wimbledon 2008 or the final of Wimbledon 2007. That's my feeling.
If it is Roger tomorrow against you, given your head-to-head record against him and the possibility of winning the career Grand Slam, earlier in the tournament you said Roger's the greatest player ever in your mind. Do you feel as though you'll be on the path to be called the greatest player ever?
No entendí eso.
Si acaba de ser como el mejor jugador de todos los tiempos, si crees que si ganara mañana estarías en la línea de ser.
No, it's another match, and I don't think about the victory of tomorrow. We will see what happens with Roger. I think Roger is playing great level, probably the better level of the year for sure. So it will be very difficult if he's in the final, and if he's Novak, for sure gonna be very difficult too. And anyway, if we suppose I won that I win that final, I'm gonna say the same. I am not on the way to be the best of the history because that's very far, and I really don't believe I can arrive to the Rogers level. No? So I think what Roger did is something almost impossible to repeat, and I go day by day, and just like this I'm gonna have any chance to keep having chances to win important tournaments.
We know that you don't like to look too far ahead, either in matches or in tournaments, but did you have a special feeling about this Open in the past few months for any reason, because of the issues, the career slam, possibly, or that sort of thing?
Well, I know if I am healthier, probably it's the year that I'm gonna arrive better, because the mentality is there, the head is there during all the year to have a good tournament here. But for me, the most important tournament of the year, 2010, was Roland Garros. You know, for me, that was the most important tournament for me. And after that, was a big confidence for me won in Roland Garros another time, because it was a very hard lose in 2009. So after that, I think I relaxed a lot. I can play it very well on grass, and I said yesterday, probably in Toronto, Cincinnati, the body goes down a little bit, and for sure with this tournament, in the beginning I started playing so-so. It's normal because the confidence wasn't at my best after having not very good 2 tournaments in Toronto and Cincinnati. Well, Toronto was okay, but Cincinnati feeling wasn't great. So I worked a lot during the tournament to be back on my best level, no? And the serve helped me a lot on that, because that's given me a lot of confidence.
Rafa, respectfully, in our sport, people love to talk about who is the greatest player of all time. In that conversation, do you think it should be based strictly on number of Grand Slams won, or do you feel there are other elements in it, such as head-to-head?
Head-to-head is not an element for me. Is a part of the statistics, but it's not a decisive element. Even the Grand Slam is a very important element, but is not all on the tennis, because for me it's some things more important things and more difficult things to do than win a Grand Slam. In my opinion, Roger won 16 Grand Slams already, but what he did 23 or before semifinals in a row, that's something amazing. It's impossible to repeat, in my opinion, that. And for me, what I did on clay the last 6 years, in the previous tournament, winning Monte Carlo 6, Barcelona 5, Rome 5, and Hamburgo 1, and Madrid another 1. This previous clay season before the Roland Garros is much more difficult to win in Roland Garros, because it's 3 sets, it's tournaments back to back, and you play against the best players since the first round. So in Roland Garros or in a Grand Slam, you normally can have a few rounds without playing about the top players, and that can help you. And for the best players, have the matches at 5 sets help us a little bit more to have more time.
And do you think Davis Cup or Olympics or Masters Series should be a consideration in the conversation?
In the conversation, everybody is free to have his own opinion. I am not one to say the steps. For that reason, you are the best of the history. In my opinion, Roger is the best of the history. The best of the history that I ever see. So I don't know Rod Laver how was in the past, because I was in this world. I wasn't in this world. No? That's what I can say. And the Masters 1000, I think they are important things, important tournaments, because you play against the best players of the world in every tournament, and it's very difficult to win a Masters 1000 and Davis Cup for sure. But that's more difficult to say, because you play by team, and you depends a little bit which team you have. Anyway, without a great team that I have in Spain, it's going to be impossible to have 3 Davis Cups already for me. No? So that's no question about that. So Olympics for sure is another thing, and Olympics is the most difficult thing to win, because you always going to have 1 or 2 chances in your career, and you have to be at the right moment at your best level.
Rafa, you said a moment ago that you thought Roger was playing the best tennis right now of the year. Quite a few players in this press room in the last week have said that they think he's playing the best tennis of his career. How much have you watched his matches? Would you assess it as maybe the best of his career?
I don't know. I think Roger was amazing during all his career. Difficult to say right now he's playing the best tennis of his career. He's playing at probably his best level, without losing a set, having great victories against very difficult opponents. So probably he's playing at his best level, but he played at unbelievable level a lot of times. So.
Mark?
Raf, Roger said before the tournament began that he wanted to face you in the finals. How do you feel right now at this moment with that match going on and you're already there?
I feel great. For me, it's a pleasure to be here, being the first player to be in the final. For me, I said before, is not a dream, because the dream is to win the tournament, but it's very, very important tournament for me, being the final. I told you before, it's another important tournament in my career, and right now it's going to be very difficult to have the title, but I'm going to try my best, and I would love to play against another player than Roger in the final, because he's the best.
Nadal, great match. Okay. the way you feel now, the way you play, and the way you move on the court, it's like you were in 2003, 2004. Do you think that tomorrow will be easy if you play against Djokovic?
I don't understand the first part.
Okay, the first part is just a commentary. The way you move on the court now is like the way you were moving in 2003, 2004.
Me?
Quick, yes. So, do you think tomorrow will be an easy match for you?
Well, first thing is no answer because you already answered yourself. And, and second thing, I don't know. Do you think gonna be an easy match for me? I don't think so. So for me, gonna be a very difficult match.
If you face Novak Djokovic, tell me about that match. What you think of Novak?
I played against him a lot of times, so he's probably, when he's playing well, probably is the player who can play at higher level for a moment, because he can have winners from every part of the court. His serve, when he's serving well, help him a lot because he can have very good serves. And he's a very difficult opponent for me, especially. I had a lot of losers against him in this kind of surprise. I have no victories too, but I have losers. So he's a great player. I think he deserves to be in that final too, because he's the fourth time he's in that situation. Well, he was in the final one time, but another time in semifinals, and he always is there. He's a very regular player. He had I think for his level, not easy season, because for him, his aspirations, I think, is win a Grand Slam title and winning a Masters 1000 titles, and he fought it every week. I mean, every week was there, but finally he didn't win. So he deserves to be there because his mentality always is very positive, and he's a great guy, great player for our sport. And for sure, if I play against him, it's gonna be very difficult.
Okay, Willie? If you do face Roger, how different would it be tactically than facing him on the other surfaces where you've already played him?
I played against him in this surprise a lot of times too, so it's not a big difference. I don't know the tactic because every court is different, but it's always very similar, I think.
A couple more questions in English, Liz.
Yes. Rafa, what, if anything, do you remember about the way Martin Del Potro beat Roger here last year in the final? And if Roger is your opponent, is it possible for you to learn anything tactically from Del Potro's approach, or does that have no significance to the way you would play Roger?
No, no. I can learn about my victories in the past against him. I can't learn about the victory of Juan Martín Del Potro against Federer last year because it's completely different style of player. And Del Potro have unbelievable serve, very flat shots from the baseline. So my style is a little bit different. So I can't play like Del Potro did last year. And at the same time, in my opinion, Federer last year had to win that final because he was playing unbelievable in the beginning and have break in the second. So yeah, he had the match under control, and something happened in the end of the second, and everything changed.
Peter, when you were a little boy, which players did you most enjoy watching?
I don't know. I always enjoyed watching Carlos Moya. He's always very close to my village, so he was one of my favorite players for sure.
Jane?
Rafa, when you were on the court earlier, you acknowledged 9/11 and you talked about New York and how you felt embraced by the city. What prompted you to make those comments, and how has New York made you feel welcome?
Que has comentado acerca del 11 de septiembre y habla también del público de Nueva York y la ciudad. ¿Y qué es lo que ha sido que ha hecho que tú quisieras hablar de eso?
Well, I think first thing, 9/11 was a big shock for everybody in the world. I think everybody remember where, ¿cómo se dice? Todo el mundo recuerda dónde estaba. When they were at that moment, and I remember what happened that day and where I was, and yeah, it was a terrible shock for me, especially because I was in the top of the Twin Towers few months before. So yeah, and that's just the minimum thing that I can say. All the support for the victims and for the families. And for sure, it's always in my mind. When I came back after the disaster, in the first 6 years, I always was there in the zone zero. Zone zero. Every time watching that. No? So it was yeah. That's probably the most impact view that I had in all my life.
Michelle?
I wanted to ask you about your serve and just how much work. I mean, how much work have you put into the serve, and how much has it made a change for you? The little changes that you made.
Every day. I explain. Probably today I didn't serve as good as I did during all the week, but I still serve it well, better than usual. So I just changed a little bit the grip, and probably what I changed especially is the decision. And the important thing is, I know I have to serve well if I really want to have any day have the chance to win here. So I always repeat this to myself. And I worked a lot to serve well during all my career, and I have to keep working that hard. So the serve at the point of today is good, but not enough, because I don't have the control of the situation with my serve, because every day is new for me, and I serve it already very good for the last 6 matches. We will see what happens tomorrow, but I don't feel I have completely defined the serve. So that's what I have to keep working on that way, because right now I think I am at the right way to finally serve well.
Doug?
Rafa, when athletes win consistently and they reach the level you have, number one, they're very stubborn. They don't want to change anything. Why are you able to adapt and change things in your game, even at the level you've reached?
I think I changed the strings in the end of the season. So yeah, you are in the top, but the things works very well, but can works better always, and worse. But always you have a risk, and you have to, I don't know, in English is not, I'm not inspired today. Inspiration, all the inspiration was on court. Forget.
Last question in English. Scott?
Rafa, you've always been extremely hungry. I mean, you could have been the king of play only, and you worked and worked to win Wimbledon. You could have just done that, and you worked and worked to do what you're doing on hard court. Does that hunger come from, I want to win everywhere, or is it just, I want to be the best I can be? Why is it that you're always not satisfied?
No, because I always thought I always can keep improving, and that's why I am playing, to keep improving and to feel myself better player than before. I go to practice every day, not to practice, I go to practice every day to try to learn something and to try to keep improving my level. So it's not, I already won on hard, that's not nothing new for me to win in this surface, but the conditions in every tournament are different, and I need to have more options to do, to try to win against difficult players like today. Like in the past I had a lot of problems against Youzhny in the past, because I was playing before 2 meters behind the baseline and 3 meters behind the baseline, all the balls higher with topspin, and he had always the chance to come inside. And right now I can change the rhythm. I can play the slice back, and I can serve, win a little bit more free points with the serve, and I can play more close to the baseline. So the position on court improved, the slice back can improve it, and it was important shot for me to stop the rhythm of that players. And for sure the forehand always was good, but the two, I think I am more close to the baseline now.